All good, thank you.
Yeah, an extraordinary squad for an extraordinary situation. What was your reaction when you got the call at Edgbaston?
Yeah, to be honest, it was the last call I was expecting late in the evening. Yeah, I mean, look, it was sort of short and sharp because there was a few things to logistically that still needed to put in place. But Spoons just sort of straight up asked me the question, like, can you come and do it? And I was like, yeah.
How would you sum up the mood among the players? Many of them, of course, have never played for England, and some have not played for England in years. It must be a mixture of, disbelief and euphoria kind of wraps up in one.
I haven't seen anybody except all the Zoom calls that we've had our team meetings.
How competitive, Ben, do you think this England side are going to be with 9 uncapped players?
Yeah, very. The one thing that I've sort of told myself and that, make sure to tell the team is that, although this has been a very, quick turnaround of events in terms of, having to pick a new squad, is that no matter what name is on the back of an England shirt, we're walking out there as the #1 team. And that's an exciting thing to say you're a part of, whether you're an experienced player, a young player, or someone who's came into the group for the first time. And, situations like these are just, they're so rare and just such a fluster, I would say, is that, you've got an opportunity here to represent your country, and let's just all do it with a big smile on our face and just enjoy it as much as we possibly can as a group.
And what an honour for you to captain the one-day side in your first England game in England, I think, for 11 months.
Yeah, very excited and looking forward to the challenge. It's obviously huge boots to fill with how well Owen has led the team over the last 4 or 5 years. But yeah, look, I'm not going to put too much, pressure on myself or put any pressure on the guys who will be playing. Because as you said at the very start, it's exceptional circumstances. So, we'll just get through it how we do. And I just want to make sure that everyone's had a good time.
Sure. Just a couple more, Ben. Alex Hales hasn't made the squad again. Some people are suggesting it's the end for him now. What would you say about Alex Hales right now?
Someone's just knocking at my door, actually. Sorry, I'm just doing an interview. I can't hear. Well, I don't pick the squads. Alex has been in formidable form, especially this summer with the white ball. And you leave the selections to the guys who have to make those calls.
Sure. Just finally, as one England captain to another, have you got a message for Harry Kane tonight in the England boys before the big game at Wembley?
Yeah, it's coming home, isn't it?
Great stuff. Thanks, Ben.
No worries.
No one's in the chat yet. Does anyone want to fire away with a question?
I can if you want, Matt.
Cheers, Bob.
Ben, you said you'd had some team meetings on Zoom. Do you have a sense of how the team is going to take shape? How many debutants you might have? Who's going to keep wicket? All those kind of things, or is that still too early?
Yeah, I'm not going to give you any cliches here. It's still way too early. As you got told at the start, we're still waiting on these COVID tests to come back. So we're just doing everything that we can at the moment in terms of, planning for the Pakistan lineup. So that's literally all we've been able to do at the moment.
This team is kind of a scratch team. Do you know all your teammates? Have you sort of played with them in the recent past, all that kind of stuff, with and against?
Yeah, obviously been in a few squads recently with a few of the players. Played against everyone. Played with some of the guys, at younger age group levels. But obviously, we've had to completely repick a squad. But that's, one of the reasons for county cricket is, to put your name in the hat for an England's call up. And although you don't normally go around and pick 16 new players in the space of a couple of days, but the guys who've been picked have, put their hand up in county cricket and, deserve to be in this situation, albeit through extreme circumstances. That's a word that I've been using recently quite a lot. But, everyone warrants their place in this squad at the moment. So, no one doesn't justify their place in this squad at the moment.
And in terms of your own fitness, Morg sort of said on Sunday it would be exceptional circumstances. This is clearly it, but presumably you are playing for England a little bit sooner than you'd have liked to. But given you've been playing, you went into a 4-day game this week, you're prepared to play 100 overs worth of cricket, and you're feeling ready.
Yeah, it was obviously after the call happened, my wife sent me a screenshot of an article saying that England aren't going to rush Ben Stokes back. I then tried to make a little bit of light of the situation and sent the same thing to Gilo as well. It's one of these situations which is a great example of if you don't laugh, you'll cry. But it was like when I came back for Durham, probably a little bit earlier. It was, my job needed me to do something. So I had to stand up and do that, albeit a little bit earlier. And same again. This is earlier than we had planned for from a medical point of view and a fitness point of view. But, when your job comes out and calls you, you need to stand up and make yourself available.
Cheers.
Rory, did you want to try? I know you're on the train. Not sure we're getting you, Rory. So, Ali, did you have a question?
Yep. Ben, you in the ODIs against India, you were batting at number 3. I'm just wondering if that's a position you sort of. It seemed like you were doing that, possibly looking long term to the World T20. Maybe I know it was the team's needs at the time as well. Is that a position you're likely to resume tomorrow?
No, it's not.
It's not. Okay, so you're going to be.
No. Yeah, I'll be back in the middle order.
Okay, cool. And bowling wise, you obviously put a few overs in on Monday, so you look like your loads are good. You're good to bowl 10 if required.
Yeah, loads obviously went up after that Champo game, but I felt 45 the next morning. Obviously spending my first day in the field and bowling a couple of spells for the first time in a while. But there's no fitness issues in terms of how many overs I've bowled going into a one-day game. So yeah, my role's not going to change too much with the ball as it has done over the last 4 or 5 years in this one-day team.
Cracking. Cheers.
Scott.
Hey Ben, good to see you. With every negative comes a positive. So how big an opportunity is it for these young group of players coming in to really stamp their mark on the international level and maybe make a headache even worse for Owen Morgan when it comes to picking white ball squads in the future? Yeah,
it's great. It's an amazing opportunity for guys who have been on the fringe of the squads in recent times, but also some of the guys who've been called up for the first time. It's a really exciting time for them as individuals. And I think it's an exciting time for the public who follow the team, you guys as well. You get to write about different people, which is, I'm sure, is good. So I think just overall, we're going to look at this as a positive thing, that we get to see guys who we don't often get to see in an England shirt. And that's, the reason why that is because of how strong that this team has been over the last 4 or 5 years. So, I'm looking forward to leading out the next exciting cricketers coming through in England who no doubt will be in an England shirt in the future. It's obviously just came a little bit quicker than we would have expected with what happened a couple of days ago.
One of those players that potentially people might not know too much about is Bryden Carter. You obviously played with him at Durham. What can we expect to see from him?
Yeah, Bryden's obviously, I've known him since he was at Durham, from the academy days as well. He's just came on so much over the last 2 years. I think going away on the Lions on that winter progressed his game even further. And I've been back now for 4 or 5 weeks at Durham, and he's a seriously impressive cricketer. Obviously, he's known for his bowling, but he is more, probably even say more than capable batter. It's probably not doing it justice. He's a genuinely great, good batsman as well. So yeah, he adds pace to the attack. He's that X factor that every team wishes that they had. And I see him being in a very similar role that Liam Plunkett played for us over the many years.
And just finally from me, they talk about your 2019, but then you captained the Test side in 2020. Now you captain the one-day side in 2021. It must be a proud moment, albeit in weird circumstances.
Yeah, I've captained because Joe was having a baby, and I've captained because we've had a COVID outbreak. Obviously, two strange situations to be involved in, but it's a huge honour to lead your country out onto a sporting field. I'm looking forward to it. And just it's a different sort of place to be in when you're just gone from a senior player to now making decisions.
Thanks, Ben.
Thanks, Scott. Lawrence, I'll go to you, and then Dino after Lawrence.
Thanks, Matt. Hi, Ben. Just actually, I was going to ask about the last time the only previous time you captained England in that Test match. I mean, I know it's a different format, but did you take anything from that that you might be able to might serve you well in the next 3 games?
No.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't being captain didn't kind of change your attitude to your own cricket in any way. It was just a title you were carrying around with you.
I don't think title I was carrying around probably is the right word to say. But I'm always, when I'm out in the field, I'm Ben Stokes, the cricketer who tries to bat, tries to bowl, tries to field. Then when I'm not doing one of those, I've got to get my captain head on.
Cheers.
Dino, did you want to fire away?
Yeah, hi Ben. You touched on one of the sort of newer faces, Bryden Cast. Obviously, you know him well from Durham. I just wondered if you might say a little something on a couple of other guys who are new to England squads. John Simpson of Middlesex and David Payne of Gloucester, who will be their first time in this environment. Do you know much about those two and having played against them, and what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, look, those guys. So I played with David at under-19s level, and then obviously not being able to play that much county cricket over the last few years, you see results and not necessarily be able to watch these guys go about it. But you don't get picked in England team without being successful in county cricket. And I know that Payne especially has been very successful for Gloucester with the white ball, albeit in T20 or in 50 over stuff. And Simo as well. I've played against him a lot at Middlesex. Very, very talented player, and a very good gloveman as well. So we've got 2 guys in there who have come in for the first time, but they've got a lot of experience to back up if they get the opportunity to play.
And do you think as well that when it comes to these new guys coming in, that the pressure that you're trying to take off them will be easy for them to do because of the unusual circumstances, or do you think that you'll have a bit of work just to try and, I don't know, keep them at a level so they can go and express themselves the way that you want them to?
I hope so. It's a lot easier to tell someone to just relax than them going out and doing that. But that's what the senior guys, the management will have a role to play in, is making sure that everyone is as not calm, everyone is as relaxed as they possibly can be, and just try and use this as try and tell them seize the opportunity that you've got, go out, perform, don't change anything that you normally do, because what you normally do is what's got you here in the first place.
Great, thanks, Matt.
Nice one. Okay, well, if we don't have any more questions, we might wrap it up there, I think. Perfect. Okay, thanks, Ben, and thanks everyone for joining us, and we'll see you soon.
Cheers, guys. Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Cheers. Thanks.
Bye.